You're driving home from a long day at work when those red and blue lights flash in your rearview mirror. You pull over, roll down your window, and the officer leans in, takes a deep breath, and says the words that turn a routine stop into a nightmare. "I smell marijuana." Even if you've never touched the stuff in your life, your heart starts racing because you know what comes next. The officer is going to use that smell as a legal golden ticket to get you out of the car and tear your entire vehicle apart on the side of the highway. I'm Aden Starr, the people's lawyer, and in this video, I'm going to give you the exact word-for-word script you need to shut down this smell trap and protect your Fourth Amendment rights. First, you have to understand why the "I smell weed" line is a favorite tool for law enforcement. For decades, the courts ruled that the odor of marijuana was automatic probable cause for a search, but the world has changed. In states where marijuana is now legal, the smell alone is often no longer enough to establish probable cause because the thing that made it illegal is now a legal substance, and the smell doesn't prove a crime is being committed. However, cops are trained to use this as a provocation statement to see if you'll panic and start explaining away evidence that might not even exist. Most people make the massive mistake of saying, "Oh, I was just around a friend who smokes," or "You can look, I don't have anything," which is a direct gift of legal consent to the officer to search everything you own. So, what do you do when the officer springs this trap? You follow this four-step legal insurance policy. Step 1. The golden question. The moment the officer mentions a smell, you ask, "Officer, are you detaining me right now or am I free to go?" This forces the officer to make a legal commitment on camera. If he doesn't have independent evidence of a crime, the law requires him to let you go. Step 2. Deny consent clearly. If the officer says you have to stay because he needs to check the car, you immediately state, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches of my person or my vehicle." Use those exact words because silence or a shrug can be twisted in court to mean you agreed to the search. Step 3. The Fifth and Sixth Amendment shield. If the cop keeps digging and asks, "If you have nothing to hide, why won't you let me look?" you use your backup line. "I'm exercising my constitutional rights and that's not evidence of anything." Then you lock it down with, "I don't answer questions without my attorney present." Under the law, once you invoke your right to an attorney, all questioning must stop immediately. Step 4. Comply but don't volunteer. If the officer orders you out of the car, you must step out under the Supreme Court case Pennsylvania versus Mims. But getting out does not mean you've given up your right to refuse a search. As your feet hit the pavement, repeat, "I'm stepping out as you've requested, but I do not consent to any searches." Remember, your fight is never on the side of the road, it is always in the courtroom. By using this script, you are creating a record that puts the legal burden back on the officer to justify his actions later. Knowing your rights is your best defense against police overreach. But what if the officer doesn't claim he smells weed, and instead he leans in and says, "I smell alcohol"? That trap is even more dangerous, and I break down the exact words to stop it in my next video. So click right here to watch it and stay protected. I'll see you over there.